The father and son just made a wish to a shooting star, but they didn't expect that their souls would be exchanged. When they woke up the next day, they looked at each other in confusion. It turned out that last night was a meteor shower that only happens once every 50 years. The two troubled people silently made a wish. The boy hoped to grow up quickly and not go to school, while the man hoped to return to school to escape the pressure of the workplace. But they never thought that their wishes would really come true. But now that things have come to this, they can only experience each other's lives first. The son took a briefcase to work, while the old man carried a school bag to school. However, the boy didn't like the old man's office when he arrived at the company. He thought the office was too old-fashioned, so he asked someone to bring his favorite action figures. After rearranging the desk, he leaned back in his chair and played games. Although the man now lived the student life he had always dreamed of, he found that he couldn't understand the teacher's lectures at all. He was even criticized by the teacher for sleeping in class. Although the man was having a very bad time, but his son was having a very smooth time. Because the boy was born with an interest in data, he felt that this job was tailor-made for him. In just one morning, he not only completed the man's work for the whole day, but he also thought that the two stocks the man had chosen were money-losing stocks, so he sold them all immediately. Then he chose a stock that was falling. In order to speculate in stocks, he even sold the house and car without telling the man, and borrowed $5 million to buy all the stocks. The subordinates who didn't know the truth looked at the man and thought he was crazy, because the stock the man had chosen was about to hit the limit. But the boy thought that the two stocks that old man had chosen seemed to have a good trend, but in fact they were a trap. It would not take long for them to fall below the bottom. On the other hand, the stock he had chosen would rise sharply in a short time. The boy even picked up old man's apprentice's mobile phone, was ready to help him get a loan to buy stocks. But the other party immediately refused in a panic and quickly left the office. At this time, the real man was still depressed, but suddenly he heard a cry for help from the side. He looked over and found that it was a group of bad students bullying a girl. The bully thought the man was still the thin boy. He was about to teach him a lesson, but the next second he was slapped by the man. Before the bully could react, the man slapped him several times in a row. In this way, the man was scolded by the head teacher for fighting. When he learned that old man had caused trouble, the boy immediately rushed to the school. After learning the whole story, the boy thought old man was too cool. However, this was heard by the dean of studies nearby. He immediately criticized and educated him. The other party's parents also became unreasonable and falsely accused the man of injuring someone and had to pay compensation. The boy was angry on the spot when he heard this. He was about to fight with the other party but was stopped by old man. Old man was also very good at handling such situations. He said that his old comrade was now the minister of the State Department of Education. Upon hearing this, the dean of studies immediately changed the subject and said that the young man was right to stop the bullying incident. Then he drove out the students and parents who were causing trouble. However, when the matter was resolved, the young man received a call from the company boss and then hurried to the company. Old man thought that this was the company's recognition of him and that the two stocks he selected must have risen sharply. He went home in a good mood and waited for good news. As a result, when old man returned home, he was shocked because everything in the house was sold by the young man. At this time, the young man was stopped by the president and his apprentice.